It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abubeiduado, and I'm here with
Charles Owosukumi.
the news is live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. Coming up, 14 patients of the dialysis center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital die following 2 months of closure. Meanwhile, the Renal Patients Association appeals to government to waive the cost of dialysis.
Yes, now, President. Yes, now, what are you going for? In the 14, in 49, 50 pay, there. And day, whatever you.
Also coming up, more tributes pour in for former First Lady Theresa Kufuor as the family calls on the general public to support them in prayer.
The old man didn't take it kindly at all. It was shocking to him. But this morning I've seen that he's recovered to some extent.
Still ahead, new voters' ID applicants and some minority parties call for extension of the limited registration exercise, which ends today.
All individual bondholders who are below the age of 59.
We apologize for that insight. Meanwhile, we'll take you to the eastern region where the Adaiso District Police Command is currently locked up in a meeting with political actors in the Upper West Achim District and officials of the EC following 3 days of confrontations between the NDC and the MPP. And later, stay tuned as we bring you exciting highlights of the 2023 edition of the Citi Business Olympics.
Everything we want to do, we put our all in it. We put all our effort and energies into it. And so we planned, we came, we saw, and we conquered.
This news is also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're on Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In the Bono region, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. Ashanti region, Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi, Volta region, Revival 99.3 FM in Tajevu, Northern region, Radio Bimbela 91.9 FM, Upper East, Tanga 93.7 FM in Bolga, Upper West, Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa, and Jirapa 96.1 FM.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
We're grateful for your time. Now, about 14 persons have lost their lives due to the closure of dialysis center at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. This is according to the Renal Patients Association. The closure was due to the absence of the necessary reagent for treatment. Meanwhile, the association also says patients are being charged exorbitant fees, although the hospital had claimed the increment was still awaiting approval from Parliament. During a press briefing, the spokesperson for the Renal Patients Association, Michael Asante, appealed to the government for a waiver on these costs and urged for the inclusion of these cases into the National Health Insurance Scheme.
Prior to the proposed price increase, the challenges faced by the renal units were shortages of consumables for the dialysis and breakdown of dialysis machines. Every now and then, due to the pressure on them as the number of patients kept increasing with the limited machines available. As we speak, the renal unit has been closed since 22nd May 2023. Up to date, to outpatients. Patients have gone through turbulent times as we struggle to finance our dialysis treatments at private dialysis centers across the city. Unfortunately, during this shutdown period, we have lost about 14 of our friends, patients with ERLD, and this has left the rest of us living in constant fear for our tomorrow. This is because we do not know who amongst our number will be the next to lose their lives needlessly. For the souls of our departed friends, may they rest in peace.
Thank you, baby. Thank you,
So you earlier heard the spokesperson for the Renal Patients Association, Michael Asante.
Meanwhile, former President John Dramani Mahama is urging the government to consider providing tax exemptions on medications and kits used for dialysis treatment. His appeal comes in the wake of concerns about increased dialysis fees at the renal unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Speaking at the first Ghana Aging Conference in Accra, John Mahama emphasized the need for the government to show consideration for individuals dealing with terminal illnesses, particularly the elderly.
Let's move on to some other stories now. And the Minority Caucus in Parliament says all is set for its planned protest against the governor of the Bank of Ghana and his two deputies on Tuesday, October 3, 2023. The protest is to demand the resignation of the governor and his deputies following the huge losses recorded by the bank in its report for the 2022 fiscal year and the use of over $250 million for the construction of a new headquarters. Speaking ahead of the protest, Boko Central MP Mahama Ayariga said the organizers will follow the planned route agreed upon with the Ghana Police Service.
This protest is not just by the minority in Parliament. As you can see from our activities so far, the protest is widely supported by a lot of the minority political parties, namely the PNC, the APC, and some other political parties. And then also a lot of civil society groups such as Arise and many other personalities have given their endorsement to this protest march. As for the minority, as you will know, we have been prepared long since. A series of obstructions, of course, that will postpone the demonstration. But tomorrow is certain, absolutely certain, and we will be out tomorrow to protest against the happenings at the central bank and in relation to the financial sector of this country. We will start our protest from the Circle or Brassport. We'll march on the Circle Accra Road, and at Adabraka we will turn left. We'll pass through Asylum down to the Ridge Hospital, and then at the roundabout we'll turn right to the National Theatre traffic light. We'll then take a left, pass through the Ministries Police Station, the Court Complex, and then meet the Atamils Highway. And then at the Atamils Highway, we'll turn right and head towards the Bank of Ghana headquarters building. We will not get to the Bank of Ghana headquarters building. There's a roundabout before then, and I will turn at the roundabout. So the roundabout before the Bank of Ghana headquarters building is our ultimate limit.
The Boko Central Member of Parliament also provided further updates on the community engagement being organized by their side to seek the support of citizens to join the protest tomorrow.
Because of the series of postponements of the date that we have suffered as a result of the issues we've had with the police in the initial stages, we felt it necessary to go around the communities to give assurance that this date is firmed up and therefore they should be prepared to participate. And these engagements have gone on very well, I can assure you. And we have been well received in many of the communities. And we are very confident that tomorrow we'll witness a massive participation of people coming from many of the communities that we have had the opportunity to engage. Tomorrow we expect as many Ghanaians as possible who are living through the financial mess that the central bank governor and his team have plunged us into to come out and make a statement that we will hold them accountable, that the governor and his deputies and the board must resign and leave the post so that we can stop the degeneration of the central bank and begin to mobilize public support for the recapitalization of the bank. So we expect everybody who has the time to show up. This is not a partisan thing. This is clearly a feeling that we must all stand up. I say that it's not partisan because what we as a minority are doing tomorrow is to make a statement about the standards of governance that we expect in this country. We will not protest the way we are protesting only for one day to sit idly by and tolerate any governor appointed under the NDC to behave the same way.
You hear the Boko Central Member of Parliament, Mahama Ayariga.
Now, former President John Agyekum Kufuor's office has confirmed that he is recovering from the devastating news of his wife's death. Theresa Kufuor, the former First Lady, passed away at their home in Peduase. A senior aide and spokesperson for the former president, Dr. Kobnose Adubofo, says Mr. Kufuor is gradually recovering and has asked the public to keep the family in their thoughts and prayers during this difficult time.
It's very shocking. It was very sad. It happened yesterday late in the afternoon. The old man didn't take it kindly at all. It was shocking to him. But this morning I've seen that he's recovered to some extent. He's old enough to understand death. And normally when people come to inform us of the bereavement of other people, we keep on saying this death journey is some journey that everybody will participate, and we are all in the queue and we go one by one. So basically, he understands that and he has attuned his mind to it, despite the fact that the initial occurrence was a very serious shocker.
So as we speak currently, the former president is doing well and he's responding to the news. I mean, even though not the best that we expect.
I know, measuredly. He's responding measuredly, let me put it that way. Yeah.
So, and now to other people, we know that a lot of commiserations are coming in from people at this time, but what will be your advice to the general public who know a lot of people want to troop in and come and visit and all that?
We will welcome people coming to show their love and condolences, but I will plead with them, let them start it tomorrow. It happened less than 24 hours ago, and you need to do some logistical work before people come, like put up some canopies and all that. We'll let them give us free today, and probably they can start coming tomorrow.
Dr. Edubofo also shared his fondest memory of the former First Lady.
The former First Lady was a mother of 5 grown adults, and motherly and caring, and very devoted to her husband. She trained as a nurse midwife and worked so many years at Cocoa Clinic at Kanishi. And then she retired a little early, and she helped her husband to campaign to become the president, and became a good First Lady. She formed a foundation called Mother and Child Care Foundation, and tried to help mothers and children. As they had some funds, they built some schools and all that. And basically, they say behind every successful man, there's a woman. This is a woman who was behind former President J. Kufuor. So if one considers that his presidency was a success, then this is a woman who was behind him and helped him steer the affairs of state to the admiration of most people.
You heard senior aide and spokesperson for former President Kufuor, Dr. Kwabena Osei Edubofo.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has also been sending in his tribute, and he says in a statement that I am very saddened by the just announced news of the death of Mrs. Theresa Kufuor, our nation's former First Lady and wife of the second President of the Fourth Republic, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor. Her passing reminds me keenly of human mortality, that God Almighty God, the Almighty God, will come for each and every one of us at the appropriate time. I knew several members of her family, especially her celebrated brother, and I am grateful that I had the opportunity to know her too. Her warmth, kindness, and grace were exceptional. She bore the vicissitudes of life with great stoicism and an unshakable belief in the sovereignty of Almighty God. My wife, Rebecca, the First Lady, and I will miss her a lot. We extend our deepest condolences to President Kufuor, their children, grandchildren, and members of their family on their irreplaceable loss. We wish her a peaceful place of abode in the bosom of the Almighty, as she deserves, until the last day of the resurrection, when we shall all meet again. So that's a statement from the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We'll still stay with more tributes coming in, this time for the former Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram and the immediate past constituency chairman of the NDC, or the National Democratic Congress for Ningo Pram Pram, Michael Kwete, has paid glowing tributes to their late former MP Enoch Mensah, describing him as a gem whose impact transcended politics. The former Council of State member and MP died in South Africa last night at age 77 after a prolonged illness. Michael Kwete says E.T. Mensah was a political colossus who helped mentor many politicians from Ningo Pram Pram.
Honorable E.T. Mensah was a founding father of the NDC, and he later became the longest serving mayor of Accra. He's been mayor for 10 years. Then he also became the MP for Newsroom. Once at it, he was also the national youth organizer for the party at a point in time. Then he became the national vice chairman. He also became a member of the National Council of Elders of the party, NDC. Then he was one time Minister for Youth and Sports. He was Minister for Employment and Social Welfare. He was Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing. In fact, so as for Honorable Iti Mensah, let me say Ghana has lost a gem, and he will be remembered for that.
Michael Kwete is a former NDC constituency chairman of Newsroom.
Now, the Krowa Municipal Assembly has issued a final warning to occupants of illegal structures around the Nungwa Traditional Council area. These structures are slated for demolition by October 31, 2023, if occupants fail to relocate. The purpose of this action is to clear the area for the construction of the second and final phase of the new Nungwa Traditional Council office complex, which has been delayed for nearly 2 years. The Municipal Chief Executive for Krowa, Joshua Nibote, says those who do not comply with the relocation notice will face consequences.
You cannot make an illegality legal. So we've given them enough time. That is the story they always tell you. Like I'm saying, if you go there now, at least we have given them a final notice. It is pasted on their kiosks. 3 months is enough to move a lot of kiosks and then find a place. Already they don't have permits. You understand me? They should have come to the office for temporary permits. We give temporary permits for these kiosks and these containers. None of them has a permit. So already it's illegal putting those things there. But we'll be able to manage it this time. Like I told you, for the past 2 years, I've been going there personally. I don't let my engineers or my task force go. I go with them. After yesterday too, I was there and I told them, we have to demolish the structures. Because the contractor is on site and he has to work. You understand? The indiscipline, I wouldn't even quote the indiscipline. The indiscipline in the system is just too much. Look at the drains all over. You go to Sakumono. Look at what? A human activity. You come to Beshi, human activity. You go to Kole, human activity. We're using about $42 million to dredge the Kole Lago.
Joshua Nibote is the Municipal Chief Executive for Krowa.
The Western Regional Engineer of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Engineer Yao Safo, has attributed the 3-day power outage in most parts of Takwa to the destruction of a transformer by thieves. He explained that while power has been restored to most of the affected areas, the incident resulted in extra costs as a new transformer had to be purchased due to theft, a recurring issue in their operations.
Last Thursday in the evening, they attempted to steal some part of the transformer at Takwa Sinai. They couldn't get their way as they wanted, but they best opened the oil tank of the transformer, which got all the oil drained to the ground. The oil is what insulated the transformer. Without the oil, the transformer cannot work. So when we got there in the next morning, at Friday in the morning, the transformer has given way. We had to make arrangement from our Tema depot to bring a new transformer, which came on the Friday, but working on it, and we were able to restore it by Saturday in the evening. So that has been the case during the Western region. People are always vandalizing transformers. They cut live cables. Recently, if you could recall, at Ben, so some guys went to steal our conductors, of which they were apprehended. I'm sure it came in the news. So we are doing our best to forestall these things by engaging security agencies. However, these guys are always trying to attract us to call this nefarious act.
Western Regional Engineer of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Engineer Yao Safo. You're still listening to Citi Prime News. Still to come, Volta NDC caucus in Parliament expresses anger over government's delayed response in finding a solution to the continuous devastation caused by tidal waves along the coast. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Isn't it amazing how something as simple as clean hands can change the world around us? Let's take a moment to appreciate the power of clean hands. Imagine the possibilities when you keep your hands clean. Allow me to remind you of some 5 instances when clean hands can make all the difference. Before indulging in your favorite banku, gobe or wache. After a visit to the restroom. While caring for a loved one who needs your support. Right after you've sneezed. coughed or handled a tissue. And every time you touch public surfaces. Think about it. Clean hands mean our children can go to school without worries, our hospitals can provide top-notch care, and our workplaces can thrive. These moments might seem trivial, but they keep you and those around you safe and healthy. This message is brought to you by WaterAid Ghana. Follow us on social media for more tips on hand hygiene.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still listening to Citi Prime News. Now, the National Democratic Congress MPs from the Volta region are expressing growing concerns over the rapid deterioration of the coastal line within the region. They argue that the government appears indifferent to the extensive damage along the coast. Since the start of the year, strong ocean currents have swept away both businesses and residential properties, rendering thousands of southern Volta region residents homeless. The group of MPs, led by Emmanuel Bedra, the leader of the Volta NDC MPs, and Kwame Gavins Agboja, the minority chief whip, conducted visits to affected communities in the Anglo, Keta, and Ketu South municipalities, calling for urgent action to be taken.
For vote, and didn't even care about where the people who are going to vote for him are going to sleep. We leave him to that. He's not yet the president, and God willing, he must not be the president. And for President Akufo-Addo, he's already the president. It is your job to fix this problem, and we are saying, if we don't see anything in the 2024 budget, forget it. You are not going to get our support for anything.
That was Kwame Gavins Agboja, the minority chief whip and member of parliament for the Adaklu constituency. Additionally, Ablajifa Gomashi, the member of parliament for the Ketu South constituency, appealed to the government to activate the West African Coastal Management Area Resilient Fund to expedite the completion of the sea defense project.
How I wish I could advise you, but I think you should go to John Dramani Mahama and take that advice from him. I served under him. He would be the right person to give government the advice. And when he told you that if you are not a president, you can't be criticizing him and telling him what to do, you think he was joking? No. But by the way, I'm told by the World Bank and IMF, I think, they have some arrangement with Benin and Togo called WACA, West Africa Coastline Area Management Funding, Resilient Funding. Why is my country not participating in that exercise? Why are we not applying for this WACA so that you will save the coastline of our shores? And the cold comfort that Kanoforiata gave me and my people is that he had set aside 10 million for feasibility study. How annoying can it all be? I know that we couldn't have started the phase 1 without a feasibility study being done. The kind of money that went into that sea defense couldn't have happened without a feasibility study. Why you need to set aside another amount of money for another feasibility study, only you can explain to the people of Ghana. I've seen how you respond to other disasters in other places, and I've seen how you did not suffer Gakwe and I have seen it. We have seen it. And our people to know.
Ablajifa Gomashi is the member of parliament for the Ketu South constituency.
The Institute of Energy Security, IES, has predicted an increase in prices of all petroleum products for the first pricing window of the month of October. IES says this is a result of an increase in the international market price for gasoline, gas oil, and LPG, coupled with a 0.59% depreciation of the Ghana cedi against the US dollar. Research analyst at IES, Adam Yakubu, shared more insights on the expected increment in prices of petroleum products in an interview with Citi News.
October prices are expected to rise across board for all petroleum products as international market activities continue to push prices of crude further. International prices of refined products have equally seen some price hikes, with the various products closing the September pricing window at some net increment in their prices. For the price of petrol, we saw a net increment of 0.63% of the initial price, closing the window at 975.73 cents per metric ton. Gas oil saw a net increase of 5.29% of its price to close the window at $992.95 per metric ton, while LPG saw its price increase at 2.43%, closing the trading window at about 587.43 cents per metric ton. We believe the October 1st pricing window would see the price of gasoline go up by 1%, gas oil go up by 3%, and LPG go up by 1.5% per kilogram, which would be the third time LPG price has increased in the last 3 windows.
That was research analyst at Institute of Energy Security, Adam Yakubu.
Former executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative and a prominent figure in the fight against corruption, Vitus Azim, is advocating for an immediate and thorough audit of the Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited, BOST. This comes on the back of public concerns regarding reports suggesting that the company purchased 18 iPhone 13 Pro Max phones for its corporate executives with an alleged cost of 28 million cedis. While BOST has acknowledged the acquisition of the iPhones for its corporate executives in May 2022, the company has disputed the 28 million cedis figure circulating on social media. Speaking to Citi News, Vitus Azim emphasized the need for an impartial and comprehensive investigation into the allegations.
You see, if we have a very serious government that is interested in the fight against corruption and protecting the public purse, managers involved should be called to order to explain, to account for such action, produce the necessary documents to show that actually there was a genuine transaction that took place and that they got the permission of the board of directors and all that. But for a country like Ghana, in a week, we forget about it and then nothing happens. So that is the problem that we have been facing. But something should be done. The managers involved in the purchase should be called to explain and justify their action. And if the explanation and justification are not satisfactory, then there should be a surcharge or the expenditure should be disallowed. Public institutions are set up with the taxpayers' money to provide services, but also to generate some income for the government. And so tech companies should not just be allowed to spend in any way without getting the necessary approval from the appropriate authorities. So we saw the story of the Bank of Ghana buying gold watches. And it's not just this year. They say it's a normal practice. And so if you need phones for your management staff, the price has to be reasonable.
Anti-corruption crusader Vitus Azim. As the Electoral Commission's limited voter registration exercise ends today, some members of the monitoring team and observers are supporting the call for an extension of the period for the exercise. According to an observer at the Okankwe South Centre, Edmund Saki, some of the applicants are not well informed about the exercise. Speaking to Citi News, he made claims of the applicants registering despite the fact that they have not attained the required age.
Edmund Saki. Yeah. What do you have to say about the exercise going here so far? Any challenges, any situation?
A lot of challenges. Because it's limited voting, limited registration. So this constituency, Okankwe South constituency, people are being brought from outside the constituency to come and register here. Yes. So we are seeing all these things, and even some of the children that have been brought here, some of them don't even know their ages. You understand? So we don't fictitious ages into the forms. Some of them we challenge, and some because we don't really know their age. You can't challenge. You understand? And sometimes we challenge and they go and they come back and they say he's of age or she's of age. And we leave them to go. But we tell them the case, we tell them that it will worry them. These are some of the challenges. And you see, before you can take a challenge from, the person should be less than 18. or the person should not be living in the constituency, or the person is not a Ghanaian. Now, how can you ascertain that this person is not a Ghanaian? Because we don't know those in the northern sectors, whether they are Ghanaians, because this Dagomba, Dagati, and then the rest. You wouldn't be able to know specifically if you see someone like that.
So Edmund Saki is an observer for the limited voters registration exercise, and he was at Okankoi South. Philip Nilate has been to some voter registration centres, and he's joined me on the line for more. Good afternoon, Philip. What are the general concerns of applicants as well? We have heard from an observer, they want an extension of the exercise. What are the general concerns of the applicants?
Thank you, Zoe. Good afternoon to our listeners. So I visited Okankwe South, that is located at Kaneshi Market, where the exercise is happening, and move on to Orodiodio, one of the constituencies, to also monitor the exercise. They're currently at the old headquarters, monitoring the exercise here. So the applicants, ideally, you would think that today being the last day, you would have a number of people coming in to do the registration, but the numbers from our observation has dipped, and today being the last day, we don't really have that huge numbers here. According to the applicants, some of us also raised concerns about how slow the process was in the initial stages that has really demoralized a number of them to come and embark on the exercise or participate in the exercise. So Zoe, today, you wouldn't really find a lot of the applicants coming on the grounds. I threw a question to one of the officers on who is participating in the exercise, who is monitoring the exercise there at the Odododio constituency. He also made mention of the fact that people are staying at far places and they are finding it very difficult coming to the EC office at one particular place, also making calls for an extension of the period, and also if EC could also expand the exercise to other parts of various constituencies. So for the applicants, the few we've seen at the various centres, they are going through the process, hoping that they will be able to finish it early and go to wherever they are going to. And also for the observers, some of them have raised concerns about the fact that some people are being brought from other constituencies to partake in the exercise. It looks like some sort of due diligence is not really being done, though they come in with the guarantor system and all that. So the exercise today is the last day. Some concerns have been raised by the monitoring team and the observers, but the exercise, I can say proper, is ongoing, but the applicants are not as many as they were in the previous day.
Thank you very much. That was Philip Nilate, who has toured some registration centres in the Greater Accra region. Let's move to the Eastern region now. Neil Ni Amate Kanaku is our regional correspondent there, and he is reporting of the Adaisu District Police Command being in a meeting with political actors in the Upper West Achim District, and they are, apart from the political actors, they are also meeting the Electoral Commission. There has been a standoff between the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party for 3 days. Neil, what is accounting for these confrontations?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, Zoe. For more than 3 days now, there's been some pockets of incidents being recorded at the registration center in Adesso. Now, this follows accusations and then counter-accusations challenging the eligibility of prospective voters in that particular area. Now, just yesterday, a lady who visited the registration center to get registered was prevented from doing so by a political party, that is, followers of a political party. Now, we should know that because of the non-existence of these registration centers dotted across, as people were clamoring for, did not happen. So these political parties bus people to the registration centers. So this lady was challenged that they were not going to allow her register, and this ended up resulting in a physical confrontation. Now, a day before that, another similar incident also occurred where they exchanged fisticuffs in the process. Now, yesterday's incident, which resulted in today's engagement with the police, happened when this lady was prevented. So after the exchanges, another group went in to reinforce and then came in with machetes to launch an attack on the other group at the registration center. Now, the other group who also felt intimidated later also went to also reinforce and then came back in a reprisal attack. They ended up destroying some motorbikes at the registration center, chairs which a prospective people set on to join queues were also destroyed in the process. Now, this led to a complete halt of the exercise that was yesterday, and this morning the police and then the District Security Council engaged both leadership of these two political parties to find a truce and also prevent a recurrence of what has been going on for the past 3 days in the Adeso area.
You mentioned that there was disruption to the exercise and it was halted yesterday. Did the exercise continue today?
Yes, the exercise continued today, but under strict police protection. That was what the Electoral Commission officials wanted before they could go ahead with today's exercise. So as we speak now, the exercise is ongoing, but under strict police protection.
What have you also gathered from that meeting currently ongoing?
Yes, so they are resolving to allow people go ahead to fill some challenge forms whenever they want to challenge the eligibility of a prospective voter. They want to go ahead to allow everybody go through the process which will allow them to fill a form that is a challenge form if they suspect that somebody is not of age or somebody does not reside in the area, and then hence they don't want the person or they find difficulty approving the person's eligibility. So that is a key thing that I've picked up from that meeting now, and then they also want to do away with the use of macho men at the center, macho men and then armed land guards and armed men that is at the center. That is what they want to agree on now.
Finally, what has the Electoral Commission in the area been saying about these events, these chaotic scenes?
Yes, so I'm currently trying to get the EC boss in the area to speak to the issue. That the district don't want to speak on that particular issue, but before the day ends, we will get a response from the EC boss in the region with regards to the ongoing confrontations in the Adeso area.
Thank you so much. That was Neil Niamate Kanaku, who is our Eastern Regional Correspondent. Now, the Eastern Regional Secretariat has issued a statement with regards to the issue Neil Niamate Kanaku just spoke about, and I'll read excerpts of that statement. They indicate that this release is to bring the attention of the IGP that security at the registration center at the Upper West Achim need to be beefed up. We as well want to send a warning notice to the NPP and their surrogates that the NDC in the Eastern region cannot be intimidated. Per our intel, the thugs brought in disrupted the registration process and they are members of the Ochehene Task Force. We call on the IGP and the regional commander to beef up security at Adeso to help avert any unforeseen circumstances. We are also calling on the Ochehene or Sajefo Ameti of Opinion to call his men to order. We wish to assure our strong and spirited branch and constituency executives that we are ready to support them any day, anytime, and as much as they continue to insist on the right things to be done. Charles, do you have more on this?
Yes, still on the limited voter registration exercise, the National Democratic Congress has joined calls for the Electoral Commission to extend the exercise. The EC began the voter registration exercise in all district offices last month, and it is scheduled to end today. So far, the Electoral Commission has registered over 600,000 eligible voters. Mustafa Gbandi, a Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, says it is important to ensure that all eligible applicants have the opportunity to register.
If you go to some centers, we have people who have been there in the last 4 days trying to register. You know, they've taken care of their own accommodation, their own feeding. It has been a cost on MP. One would expect that the EC would have a space for these people to at least be registered before the exercise come to an end. So we expect that there should be places where we augment machines and workforce to ensure that they finish the people in the queues, the people who are in the queues as far as the registration is concerned. It is very fair that we register them without having to send them back to go home. Anything contrary to this will amount a clear unfair treatment by the Electoral Commission meted on these innocent young people who have been in queue. If you go to a place like Asujamai, people have been in queue in the last 5-4 days. Now, the arrangement they have there is that you come and write your name. When it is time, then you come. All these people assume that they are in the queue, and so they will be expected to be registered.
Mustafa Gbande is a Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abubeidu-Ado, and I'm here with
Charles Owusu-Kumi.
Stay tuned. We'll bring you highlights of the 2023 edition of the Citi Business Olympics that happened during the weekend.
Everything we want to do, we put our all in it. We put all our effort and energies into it. And so we planned, we came, we saw, and we conquered.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Happy birthday to you. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
You know the now. You are living the now. You feel secure in the now. But what about tomorrow? What happens when you can no longer do the things you love? What happens to your loved ones when you are no longer here? Get Mikakrawa from Prudential Life now and protect your future and that of your loved ones. With as little as 3 Ghana cedis, Mikakrawa covers you in case of death, total and permanent disability, or critical illness.
Fafu is this year. Nadal star 778 ash. Oh, I'm telling you this year. Come on this year. Down this year.
See, no one knows tomorrow. No one knows tomorrow. Anything can happen. Once more, you will fit enjoy to sorrow. In such times, we rely on insurance. Charlie, no need to borrow.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, former Auditor General Daniel Yao Domelovo has expressed concern about the prevalence of corruption among individuals identifying as Christians and Catholics in Ghana, saying this has become a hindrance to the country's progress and development. Mr. Domelovo believes the church, responsible for imparting moral principles, should openly address the issue of corruption within its community during church services and gatherings. Addressing an audience at the launch of the Ghana chapter of the Catholic Youth Network for Environmental Sustainability in Africa at the St. Ignatius of Loyola Catholic Church in Accra, Mr. Domelovo encouraged the youth to resist the corrupt practices seen in the current generation.
Today, corruption seems to be the order of the day. Our generation are so corrupt, extremely corrupt. Father, I don't know whether you know this. And be telling us when we come to church. There are too many corrupt Christians and Catholics. Someone whose salary is not even up to 5,000. And you see the type of mansion he or she is staying in, the type of vehicle they drive. And you like to ask, where did he get it from? The young ones, like you are also learning. They think that the end justifies the means, not the means justifying the end. Please, let's go back to our values. I think if I started life with the thinking I have today, you will have met maybe only 1 or 2 bedroom house. Because I realize even in the room, you use only a small portion of the bed. So the sizes of our rooms are even too much. Ghana, we are developing too much horizontally. We don't go up. So the youth, my advice for you, hard work does not kill. Let's make sure that we earn living in a decent manner.
Former Auditor General Daniel Yao Domelovo.
Now, government says it remains resolute in confronting all challenges that may arise with the aggressive efforts in making science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM education a bedrock of the country's education. According to the government, despite all current financial constraints, it is determined to go through with the education transformation agenda. Addressing a gathering of heads of institutions, students and parents at the second STEM promotion roadshow at the Abomosu STEM Model School in the Etiwa West District of the Eastern Region, Information Minister Kojo Oponkroma said the Ghana Education Trust Fund is making significant strides in beefing up accommodation and other logistical challenges in the educational sector.
You may recall the immense effort of the Kufuor administration to ensure that every Ghanaian child benefits from basic education through the much-celebrated capitation grant that started in 2005. The grant ensured that the basic schools in every hamlet and village will be supported to function so that they can provide the needed tuition for the Ghanaian child. Even as we've been making progress at the basic level, new schools that have been ill-resourced have sprung up in some communities as they set up their own schools, awaiting a takeover and provision of logistics by government. Thankfully, the Ghana Education Service is working to stop new ones from springing up while ensuring that the existing ones are fully resourced. At the senior high school level, another bold intervention has been established, the free senior high school program. Honorable Minister, as a member of parliament from a rural community, I meet parents regularly who profess how the program has enabled them to take their children through senior high school education, something that appeared to be a privilege previously.
You heard the Information Minister, Kojo Oponkroma. Now, speaking at the same event, the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Educhum, said a foundation has been laid for innovation to take over the country due to the government's transformational agenda.
The foundation is being laid. A lot has been done at the senior high school level, but the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, has not forgotten transformation of basic education in this country. I would like to show you some images of schools that we are building at the basic school level, junior high school level, and we are creating a pipeline. I recently had a very interesting encounter with a student at one of our STEM schools, Kosomkin STEM Girls School. We had an open forum with the students, and one young lady asked me a very interesting question. Was a minister. How do I create the best version of myself? Critical thinking, the best version of herself. And I said, I don't know you, but the best version of yourself will mean you have to be a reflective learner. That you have to be a student with a growth mindset. The fact that you are saying you want to create the best version of yourself means that you have a growth mindset. Growth mindset is now being taught in American schools, and we began teaching less academic year what is growth mindset to our students across the country.
Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei Educhum.
Now, GCB Bank emerged as the winner of the 2023 Citi Business Olympics, securing 8 medals in total. This victory marked the 4th consecutive win for the bank in this annual sporting event, where over 60 companies competed for top honors. The event took place at Eden Heights in Wager and featured a range of sports and activities. Here is a roundup of Saturday's activities in the following report by Citi News' Bernard Osei.
On the 30th of September 2023, Citi FM Citi TV organized the biggest corporate sporting event in the country. But this was more than just a gathering. This was a sports festival which brought together companies from across the length and breadth of the country. It was a mixture of vibes, connections, food, and music at the sports-filled bazaar at the 2023 Citi Business Olympics held at Eden Heights in Wager. Over 60 corporations trooped to the Eden Heights in Wager to battle it out for supremacy with a desire to topple GCB Bank, who had won the previous 3 editions. Patrons started arriving at the venue with great enthusiasm and full of hope, not knowing what the future had in store for them. While some came with Jama, many others just drove in went through the registration process to be able to fully participate in the 2023 Citi Business Olympics. With registration done, we kick-started this year's competition with an aerobic session led by the Ghana Anthem. After some minutes of aerobics, for patrons to ginger and usher them into the spirit of what was ahead of them, the ball was set rolling. The participants from the over 60 companies dispersed to begin their quest for glory in the sporting disciplines. That is, football, table tennis, lawn tennis, basketball, volleyball, chess, Scrabble, Ludo, draft, lime and spoon, tug of war, sack race, and arm wrestling. The aim of this year's competition was simple: to find the ultimate sporting company in Ghana. At the heart of it all was the CEO's challenge, which proved to be one of the event's most competitive iterations yet. While the games were eagerly being contested, I spoke to this year's sponsors: Universal Motors, Blue Jeans, EK Brand Consult, Hollad, Yango, Fanyogo, and Voltic in turn.
I've been with Universal Motors for 16 years, and we joining Citi Olympics, it's one of the greatest opportunities for us. When we heard about the Citi Olympics, we felt excited. We decided to come on board to use the opportunity to see what we can make out of the event.
So Citi Business Olympics is a very great initiative. It's been, you guys started for a very long time. We've actually been monitoring the movement and everything, which is good. And it's a very good program where it brings together corporate organizations, where we can network, which is very, very key to all businesses and corporate organizations. So being a partner, key partner, you know we've rebranded. We want people to know more about the brand, that the only natural mineral water you have in Ghana is Baltic mineral water. There's no any other water. So you want to know that we are giving you good thing, we are giving you value for money, we are giving you something which is very healthy. So we are just not any water, we are partnering with a brand that is unique, that is Citi, which is a unique brand. So Voltic and Citi FM, both unique brands which they need to merge together.
As the competition intensified, I got a few words for some of the participants on their experience so far at the 2023 Citi Business Olympics. There's a game going on live, a Scrabble game, and I'm here to talk to the participants to gauge how they are feeling and how they've seen the competition so far, and if they can win this year's Scrabble tournament in the Citi Business Olympics. What's your name and what company do you represent?
I'm Eric Ebo Akwa, MD of Blue Rose Limited, a real estate company.
So far, you are competing with several. Do you think you'll beat him and get to the final?
Straight to the finals. You know, we are here to take the cup. That's why we are here. We are not joking. This is going to be our third win.
How about you? What's your name and what company do you represent?
Fuifiajo, I represent Gusevo.
I like you.
And I'm not suffering. This is how we are going to end our championship today. Okay, but then this is our third round. It's been a slow start, but we are definitely going to win this game. We will win this game. I'm not with them.
At the end of the day's activities, some of the winners in the various sporting disciplines shared their thoughts as they're helping their companies to claiming gold medals. How did you beat Total Energies? Because of all his competitors, he looked like the better one.
Yes, I know him myself per se. We've met several times. His name is Daniel Frimpong Smart, and he's a better player than me. But of course, this is a competition, so you have to use strategies and you have to use mind games to win. I won him the last game by beating him on time. That was the advantage I had. I had to, be strategic enough, and I think he played very well. He's a very good player, but in the end, the master strategician wins. This is a chess game, of course.
I equally face a lot of very good players. They allowed me win. If I'm not that good, it means they allowed me win. But then I want to congratulate the other participants. They all did a very great job. Companies brought out their best players, but thankfully, especially with the support of my colleagues, I was able to come this far.
Your bank for life. We dominate the market. We win everything. We prepared very well. Yes, that's how we did it.
What do you make of initiatives like this, powered by Citi FM, Citi TV?
Well, I think it's a good opportunity for us to, all come and, release stress. And, once you're active, looking at the kind of job we do, if you don't engage yourself in sporting activities, you realize that we get old, we fall sick, we die.
The winner of the Ultimate CEO's Challenge, Eric Atubochi, who is the managing director of Danwell Life Company Limited, was ecstatic following his victory and told me afterwards that his aim is to retain the title for the next 5 years.
I feel so elated, I feel so special, and I'm very happy because I have my team around. Told them that I'm going to win this award, and thank God I've won it. And I'm going to keep this award for the next 5 years. What is going to happen every year when we come here, I'm going to win this award. So the next 5 years, then I'll release this award.
For the fourth consecutive time, GCB came tops at the Citi Business Olympics, fending off opposition from Alisa Hotel and Pay Angel, who finished second and third, respectively. After their triumph, I spoke to GCB to find out how they do so well at the Citi Business Olympics and why they are so consistent.
You keep on doing it every year. How do you do it?
No, that is what we are. I mean, everything we want to do, we put our all in it. We put all our effort and energies into it. And so we planned, we came, we saw, and we conquered.
Give us one message.
Yes.
Give the people of Ghana one message.
Yes.
One message.
Now, the message I have for them is that JCB is resilient everywhere. On the sports field, in the banking house, JCB is very resilient. We are a very resilient bank. We have taken on the nature of the eagle. The eagle is tenacious. The eagle is strong. The eagle is solid. Everyone who has dealings with GCB is safe because your safety is in the hands of an organization that typifies the eagle character. That is what GCB.
So this is the end of the 2023 edition of the Citi Business Olympics here at Eden Heights at Swaja. It's been fun, it's been thrilling, it's been exciting, it's been full of emotions, an emotional roller coaster really. Some companies won, some companies lost, but the ultimate winner went to Ghana Commercial Bank. From Eden Heights, my name is Bernard Osei for Citi News.
The Citi Business Olympics 2023 was powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Lozati Lozenges from Unicom Chemists Limited, EK Brand Consult, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Hollard Insurance, Voltic Ghana Limited, Fanyugo, Universal Motors and Yango.
So before we go, as part of activities to launch the World Mental Health Day, the Mental Health Authority is urging the upholding of rights and dignity of persons with mental health issues. This call was made at the media launch of the week-long celebration of the World Mental Health Day. The board chair of the Mental Health Authority, Estella Matildapia, emphasized the importance of recognizing mental health as a universal right.
Obligation places the state under an overarching responsibility to ensure that mental health services are accessible, available, and of good quality. It also implies that every individual has a right to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health without discrimination of any form. Although mental health is a right that ought to be accessible and affordable, the realization remains a significant challenge, not just here, globally. This is evidenced by inadequate funding for the sector, a paucity of skilled mental health professionals, and a lack of awareness of the mental health needs of the population. As we celebrate this year's event, it is critical that we all realize the urgency of the need to increase awareness of mental health as a human right.
Estella Matildapia is board chair for the Mental Health Authority.
And that's it for Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Zoe Abubeduado, and I'll see you with
Charles Owusukumi.
Stay tuned for the afternoon's edition of Citi Business News with David Nilati.
Citi 90.